What's up, YouTube? This is Brandon at Grow Big. So I just wanted to touch bases with you guys today and share another story I have about when I first hit prison. It was a pretty rough transition. I was pretty scared. I didn't know really what to think or expect. I was a young kid trying to survive with dealing with my emotions and everything else that was going through my young teenage mind. And when they transferred me finally to the state penitentiary, I was in shock, disbelief. I didn't know what to make of the whole situation. But I was transferred and I went through a diagnostic center. Most people spend 2 weeks there. I was only there for a week. They shipped me out, sent me to my prison. And when I got to my prison, so a lot of people don't understand how gangs or affiliations or whatever it may be works inside there, the politics, period. Well, when I got there, some rival gang members walked inside the medical area and asked me if I was some of their enemies, which I wasn't. I was a part of a gang, but I wasn't a part of that gang. And I told them that I wasn't that, and their protocols were to check all your tattoos and all that other stuff, and to make sure you weren't lying or trying to be somebody you're not. Well, I didn't go for that. I didn't let that just happen. I was always told if you let that happen, you become weak and vulnerable to everybody else. So I stood up for myself and I voiced my opinion and got aggressive, and I did what I had to do, which was stand up and let them know that that's not what I was. And eventually it all overblew, nothing came of it, and I got shipped to my unit. Met a bunch of my homies that were in there, a lot of people I knew from outside on the street, and it blew over. Well, day to day goes by, still not a day went by my mind from all the stories I heard and everything about prison, and I was on my toes, but I didn't know how or what to make of it. I didn't know how I was supposed to act or what I was supposed to do, or if I bump into the wrong person, what was going to happen. So I ended up trying to uphold the tough guy attitude, and I ran into one of the guys that I didn't like because he told on one of my homies. So I went back to court on a writ, came back with the information that my homie told me to beat the guy up. So on the yard, I was playing basketball with this guy. And this guy, for those of y'all that don't know, I'm actually pretty good at basketball. But I was playing basketball with this guy, and he was hooping me up. And I started getting in my feelings, so I brought out the story of him telling on somebody, and I called him a bitch. For those of you who don't know, that's the one word you don't use in prison. You don't call somebody a bitch unless you want to fight. And I called him that, and I told him come back to my unit, we can fight. Well, he didn't want to go back to my unit, so we fought on the yard. I threw a punch at him, he ducked it, sidestepped it, hit me with a hook, and I looked at him. At this time I looked around after I looked at him, and all the other prisoners were surrounded around us like we were in an octagon or something, like it was a street fight or something, and everybody was watching. So I couldn't just let that go. I couldn't just let that be. So I started punching him, and I was getting the better of him. He tackled me. We went down to the ground. We started fighting, and that went on for a couple seconds, not much, not too long, probably like 30 seconds. And we watched. I looked over to my side, and the correctional officers came in and they started macing us. For those of you guys that have not been maced, man, it was the 4th of July, middle of summertime, hot. Your pores are wide open. For those of you who don't know about mace, that when it hits you, it's hard to breathe. Your eyes water. It burns. It's a hard thing to deal with. And more or less in the summertime when your pores are open. And we got maced, and it was my first time being directly maced. Yes, I've been with gas bombs and all that other stuff in the Jefferson County Jail, but I never really been personally maced, and it was hard. Well, they ended up cuffing us up. I couldn't see. They escorted us to medical to give us the proper medical attention that we needed. Well, what I thought was the proper medical attention we needed. But for those of you guys don't know, in prison they don't really take care of you the way they're supposed to. And the proper protocol for being maced is you're supposed to be put in a cold shower and let the mace be rinsed off with the cold water. It deactivates it. Well, they threw us in a hot shower, which activated it even more and caused the burning to spread everywhere. And then when they put us in the shower, all of it went off of our face onto our whole bodies, down to our genitals and everywhere else, which really, really, really burns. I can't explain to you guys enough how much that really, really burns. And I find myself sitting on the floor butt naked in a holding cell after they did that, and I had a cup with the sink in my bathroom. Well, in my room, it wasn't a bathroom. But and I'm pouring water on myself and all over my genitals because it's burning. I'm trying to get it off. The cold water is the only thing making it feel better. And I look up, and my case manager, which is a lady, she walks up to the door and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "What does it look like I'm doing?" "I'm trying to get the mace off. It burns." And she just looked at me and shook her head and said, "You were doing so good. What happened?" And I said, "I did what I had to do," which was a mistake. Which was a mistake because she was a really good case manager, and I messed that up, and it got me sent to the hole. Well, the hole in there is a cell block that you don't come out of your room for, it depends, anywhere between 5 days to 14 days. Well, I spent 14 days in there because of my smart ass attitude. But that goes back to saying, as we're young, we all think that we know everything, and we think we can talk or manipulate our way out of anything, and we think being cocky or whatever is the way to go about it. Well, let me first of all tell everybody that's not the way to go about it. To resolve an issue, the best way to do it is communicate. We need to communicate with each other in order to get our differences or our frustrations or anything else set aside so that we could come to an agreement amongst each other. And I just want everybody to know that this is one of my stories, but it all stems back to the same thing, is my pride, my ego, everything got involved in that, and I decided to act on it, which made my situation even that much more worse. And that's just usually how prison goes. You go in and you never really truly make yourself much better. You try to do things because you try to uphold a standard from what everybody else says, and it usually makes your situation a lot worse. So my advice to everybody is, let's just stop all the trying to be accepted, peer pressure, or whatever it may be, to be accepted by gangs or friends or anybody. Because if they're really your friend or anything else in this world, family, whatever it may be, they wouldn't peer pressure you into doing things that you don't want to do. And if you're really smart, you won't egg the situation on by being a smart ass, cocky, or have an attitude towards somebody that's trying to help you. And that's my point behind these videos. I just want to reach out to everybody and try to help change people and be there for people so that they don't make the same decisions I made. Don't forget, guys, please like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share, please. I appreciate it. I would love to get my voice out there, heard for other people. I have way better stories, way more things to tell you guys about, way deeper issues that we can get to resolve, to make this world and help our friends and family. Please like, subscribe, and share so that I can continue to keep doing this. Thank you.